Hello and welcome to the Past Play Gaming Podcast. This is a reflection on every video game story ever. I forgot the intro because it's been so long since we've done a recording. My name is Matthew.
I'm Ben. That was the most jarring intro we've ever done. We just recorded our channel rework announcement, and you
went straight into it. I promised I was going straight in.
Yeah, we ended the announcement, and you went straight into this one, and I was like, "Oh, we're doing this, all right." And now we're doing this. Welcome to the Cyberpunk episode. Obviously,
this isn't a full episode. Really, I guess
it's a big game, and we have, in quotation marks, lives. So we don't have time to play the entirety of Cyberpunk. So this is
I'm not going to apologize that I haven't finished this game yet.
I'll apologize. I'll apologize on behalf of both of us. I'm sorry we haven't finished this game yet.
No, because I respect. I can only play games one way, and I
Yeah, you're super completionist about games. I'll pick and choose. You'll smash out an area at a time, whereas I'll just be like, yeah, I'll come back to eventually, and I do. But
I just like to be systematic, but I'd like to do all the side quests and stuff, and I don't like to finish the main story and then have all the side quests left. I like to do some side quests, sprinkle them in. But also, I have to do it at logical plot points, which we'll talk about, actually. We'll talk about that as we go. But anyway, Cyberpunk.
Here we go. This is... So we're we're going up until the title card hits, which...
Yes, well, okay. This is still the non-spoiler section.
Yeah.
This is the... I have to clarify. So, there's going to be 2 sections today when there's normally 3. There's no history section.
What?
We'll do that one day when we do, like, a full thing. I mean, what, do you have a history section?
I don't know. The game was in development for, 10 years or something.
Yeah. I mean, look, we will come back. I'm assuming one day we might do a full proper review of this when we know the ending. So that's why I'm saying I didn't do a history research for this. Yeah, so there's going to be this no spoiler section. Then there's going to be, we're doing our normal walkthrough-y type thing, but only up until the end of Act 1 and the very first part of Act 2 until you get free roam capabilities. If you've played it, you know what that means. If you don't know what that means, you probably shouldn't be listening to the spoiler section.
Yes. So, yeah, funnily enough, the title card comes up about, give or take 50 hours into the game.
I wouldn't go that far, but...
Well, it's...
At least,
it takes a while
10.
to get to.
Or 6, maybe. I don't know.
So, yeah, Cyberpunk. Are we given an initial...
Yeah, go for it. Tell me all about it.
Let's talk about what Cyberpunk is. If you listen to the internet, Cyberpunk is the worst game in existence. Actually, second worst game behind The Last of Us Part 2.
The Last of Us 2, which is my favourite game.
Cyberpunk is a mess. Cyberpunk is the worst game you'll ever play ever. It plays like garbage. It looks like garbage. Oh, everyone behaves like garbage in Cyberpunk. This is the worst game you'll ever... Shut up! It's pretty good. It's a good game, and I'm enjoying it.
It's pretty... I mean, look, okay. I haven't played it on old consoles, and I don't want to, on last gen.
Oh, yeah, God,
I don't want to play it on last gen, because I feel like that it really is bad there, and that there is no forgiving that. Because they should have been developing for last gen the whole time, because next gen only got announced last year.
Here's the thing. They're in the wrong for releasing it on last gen, and maybe lying about the performance and all that sort of stuff. People are in arms about a lawsuit, the game is awful, it sucks. But here, if you don't have, at the very least, an Xbox One X by now, you are a moron. You are an idiot.
Yeah, but does it run good on Xbox One X, though?
It runs better than it does on the original.
It runs better than it does on Xbox One, but, obviously. But
I think the X actually runs pretty alright.
Okay.
The Series X, I haven't had...
I've had almost no troubles with it.
Yeah,
it's glitchy
I haven't had
sometimes.
any game-breaking issues. I've had your typical run-of-the-mill bugs that every video game in existence has. I cannot fault this game technically on the Series X at all.
No.
I think it's fine. The game is fun. The story is good. I have issues with, gunplay, kind of, and driving, kind of. But in terms of, like, you know, the scope of the world and the setting and, like, everything that's happening within Night City, I think it's great. It's fun. It's an experience, and it's just a good world to lose yourself in, I guess.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's the super deep game, and based on what you said and what I've experienced as well, the actual mechanics of the game are very basic, especially early. Like shooting, it's just shooting and running and punching and basic driving, and like that's it. It does develop a little bit when you start to upgrade your like cybernet upgrade things, and like you know, you get like my guy has like the fiber whip thing that just like kills people from miles away.
Don't have that,
which is super fun. And you get like super jump and all this sort of stuff that makes it a bit more interesting. But it's a very basic framework. And I mean, look, what can you do with a first-person shooter? Like, there's not a heap that can be done. I think we talked about this when we talked about Bioshock. Like, they sacrificed aiming for the plasmids, and like that's the most you can do.
The wheel, really. Like, first-person shooting is first-person shooting.
Yeah, you need all the buttons to do a first-person shooter. You can't add any new stuff because you need them all.
I don't know what it is about the gameplay of this, the shooting. It just feels... Is slow the right word to use? Or like just kind of clumsy? Like, the shooting is like... It's...
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like it's a shooter game. And I know that's kind of its whole identity, but like, this doesn't stack up with like your Call of Duties or your Rainbow Sixes or your Destinies. Like, it, you know, those are big first-person shooters where the gunplay feels good, like it feels responsive, and like you have some sort of mobility. This game feels so limiting in its mobility. I think is my biggest issue with it.
You can slide and stuff around when you sprint, I think.
But it just feels heavy. Everything in this game feels heavy.
It's just slow, and it's like it sets you up that you should be able to do crazy stuff because of all your like cyber upgrades. But I mean, even I did mention that they make things better, but they don't like.
But even
do
that
enough,
is kind of like the hacking is kind of, I don't know if clumsy is the right word, but it's like you got to come to a dead stop. You got to scan this person. You got to activate your hacks, like to put them on the person. You go into a mini game every time you want to. It's like
yeah,
I don't
trying to
this.
quick hack during combat is like I can't even. I don't even bother. Like I don't. It's not my style. I mean, I try and play stealth most of the time anyway.
Fun. And yeah. I mean, we're shitting on the game a lot, but it's good.
Like,
oh yeah. Who would I recommend this game to? Someone with a lot of time that enjoys story games.
Oh, you need a lot of time.
Yeah. Like, I have not played this game nearly as much as I would have liked. But I'm still very excited for what is yet to come, because it's
I haven't played it as much. I've got so much left. I haven't played it as much as I'd like, and I've played it for like 30 hours.
You've played it infinitely more than me. I don't know if Xbox has stats for how long, but I'm going to have a quick look.
In-game does, when you save, but yeah, that's where I've been getting it from.
Yeah.
But yeah, so look, the stories and the characters, they have like some depth to them. You know, you meet people and then they develop over this course of the, you know, as you do different missions with them. There is choice. There's not as much choice in the missions as I thought there would be, but there still is. Usually it's just like, oh, you get this thing, and it's like your two options are sneak in and get it, or massacre everyone and then pick it up.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But you sort of, the characters are the main thing. You revisit them, they develop, you can sort of you exchange dialogue with them. The dialogue feels different, and you feel like you're unique in your dialogue because you get dialogue specific things based on your background and dialogue specific traits based on your skills, so whatever skill you level up. So, like, if you level up your intelligence heaps, or is it intelligence? Yeah, I think so. You can, like, know all about quick hacking and stuff, and if someone says something about hacking, there's an option to say a hacking thing that you can
at the point
say if
where
you have good
I'm
enough
at.
skills.
I don't think the game's potential has been realized yet. Like, nothing is really branching. Nothing is super, like, open world yet. I'm still kind of just bumming about doing, like, side missions here and there and a main mission sparingly. Like, nothing... The world doesn't feel entirely open to me yet, and I know it does get to that point. So I guess, in a sense, this review is like... I guess it's a huge initial thoughts section in itself, because we wanted to talk about this game because, A, it's pretty relevant right now. You know, it's getting backlash, so, hey, all publicity is good publicity and all that jazz. And, yeah, we're both enjoying it. I think if you have the capability to play it on something that can actually run it, you'd enjoy it too. But if you're trying to run this on a regular Xbox One, you are a moron, and like you should understand that you are responsible for your consequences. Like,
oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I think you basically are at the like opening world point. There are a lot of parts of the map that don't feel like they have a reason to be there. Like, especially out of the inside the city is so well marked. And then there's actually a bunch of spots outside the city you can go that aren't really very well like marked on the map, or they don't have any icons or anything to tell you what's there. It just seems like it doesn't even really feel like it's part of the map. I wasn't even sure you could go there until I got forced to go there by things like
see, I haven't left the city yet. I haven't left the city.
There's one really big place out in the wilderness, but there's also a few smaller areas out in the wilderness, sort of in different directions around the city, and it's like you don't really have a reason to go out there, but there is stuff there. You don't get like a lot of random stuff. Like, it's not going to be like random encounters or people run up to you and stuff. Mostly people just ring you up while you're driving around to make you do another mission.
There's a lot of that. I don't know if like... Because I've only played enough, right? I haven't played a huge amount. I don't know how deep things go in terms of like collectibles and such too. I know there's those tarot card things you can scan.
Yeah, they're not that hard. I've done.
But I don't know if there's any other real collectibles yet. If there is, I haven't come across them. But CD Projekt Red has clearly put a lot of time and effort into this game, despite what people may think. Like, there are 10 bajillion text logs everywhere. You go anywhere, you will see a text log to pick up, like, with lore about the world. Like, there is so much depth to the actual world here. It is fantastic. Like, the world building is the best part of this game, far and away. And I think, so for the experience of, like, being immersed in the world, play this game, please. I'm going to keep my audio running. It seems Matthew has disappeared. Maybe I'll have a bonus episode to myself. Hey guys, welcome to the Past Play Gaming Podcast Ban Edition. Today we're going to be talking about me. So I'm not really a game. Oh, his batteries are dead. That's fine. We'll release this as a special episode. This is episode 14. So we'll release this as episode 15. So I'll just take some notes. Episode 15. Maybe we can do some ASMR.
Are you still talking?
I was talking. I started my own episode.
Okay.
You maybe want to keep that in.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it in, I think. I'll get rid of all I made a bunch of noises because I left my actual mic running. Look, I'll allow that to keep going.
I talked for a lot. It was a lot of nonsense.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot that my batteries on my thing that we're using to talk to each other was not working, so my actual sound is still working.
If you want to cut all this, if you want to cut everything I said, be my guest. But there's some good content.
No, I'll leave it in. All right. Well, where were you up to in terms of the actual game?
I don't know where you last heard me. I talked about 10 bajillion
the last
text
time
logs.
I started talking.
Okay, 10 bajillion text logs in this game. World building is the best part of this game. That's about it.
Yeah, okay. I'm agreeing with all that.
Yep.
I don't think I have anything else to say, like, in terms of the actual, like, first section anyway.
Initially, not really. No.
No, we'll get into it more as we talk through the first act anyway, about the sort of things you can do and sort of stuff. So, yeah, I guess that'll do it for this section. I'll play some sort of trailer. I think I know which one I'm going to play. And then we'll come back for the next section.
In 2077, they voted my city the worst place to live in America. Main issues, sky-high rate of violence, and more people living below the poverty line than anywhere else. Can't deny it, it's all true. But everybody still wants to live here. This city's always got a promise for you. Might be a lie, an illusion. But it's there, just around the corner, and it keeps you going. It's a city of dreams, and I'm a big dreamer.
Okay, we're back on the Past Play Gaming podcast, and we're talking about Cyberpunk. This is sort of not a full episode because we haven't finished the game, but we're into the spoilers now.
Yeah. So we pick different. So the game opens up. You customize your character, and you choose like your life path, I guess.
Yeah, you have to choose your history up to this point, basically.
Yeah, so we chose different paths, I'm pretty sure.
Yes.
I chose Nomad.
And I chose Street Kid, and Corpo's the last one.
Yeah.
So I guess, if I don't know if you want to go first, but we can quickly run through our own...
Yeah, okay.
Review our own paths.
So
then, yeah.
Nomad path. You're in a garage because your car's getting worked on, but for some reason, I don't know why you're in the garage, because you walk up to the bloke and you're like, hey, I know a bit about cars, and then you like fix it yourself or something. I don't really remember. Anyway, some bloke rocks up, some policeman, and he's like, get out of here, you nomad, you bad person. Anyway, so you drive off, you go to a radio tower because you got to contact your friend who tells you where to meet like your accomplice, I guess. So you contact your friend. He's like, this is the last favor I do for you. So you go back down, you get in your car, you drive off, and you meet Jackie. So Jackie's your best buddy. Not yet, he's not, but you two have a job to do together. You have to transport some cargo over the border. So you get there, you drive to the border, and then you get like pulled aside by a border patrol, and they're like, hey, we know you're smuggling stuff. We know it. And you're like, all right, how does this bribe sound? And they're like, all right, sounds pretty good. Get out of here. And you leave, and then you're like, yeah, they didn't buy the bribe. So you drive, you have a big police chase where, because you're a smuggler. and I don't know, you escape him. Turns out you're smuggling an iguana over the border or something. Anyway, so that's the start. Anyway, you're best friends with Jackie now. You get a montage.
Yep. Basically, this is the story of how you become best friends with Jackie. Except in the Corpo one, where he's actually been your friend like since you were kids or something. Apparently, I haven't played it, but that's what I've heard. That sounds like it makes the most sense, actually. Like in terms of like how much your friendship with Jackie makes sense. Yours is like second, mine's dead last, and like Corpo's obviously number one. So I'll explain mine. So you're sitting in a bar, and the bartender comes up to you, and he knows who you are, and he's like, "Hey, I'm in a lot of debt to this guy that's upstairs having a drink. Do you mind if you just go like tell him to forget the debt, or like give him more time or something?" Mm-hmm. And you're like, "Yeah, cool. You're my friend, bartender." So you go upstairs, you talk to this guy. He's like, "I'll give him more time if you do this job for me. I want you to steal this car. You need to go to this place, etc." So you go outside. There's some like Mexican guy there who's like a mob boss type. He's called like Padre or something. He's one of the like leaders in the city later on. So you get in his car. He talks to you. Apparently you left the city for a while and you've just returned. You went to like California or something, I think, and you like to try and make something of yourself and you failed. I don't know.
New Mexico?
In America.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
there's a lot of I don't know. I just don't know. There is a lot of desert, I guess, so it's probably somewhere in the middle area of America.
Texas.
You go to he drives you on the way to your thing that you're trying to do, and you get pulled over by like some hooligans who try and threaten the guy. There's no good hooligans, and they threaten this dude, and then you sort of can threaten them back or just do nothing, and they drive off. It's not really much happens. He lets you out at this garage. You go in, you're like, the guard's there. You're like, "What do you think about this bribe?" And he's like, "Hell yeah, bribes." And then he turns off the cameras or something. You go to hijack the car. You get in the car, and then suddenly there's some other dude there that's trying to steal the car, and he like points his gun at you. And it turns out this person is Jackie.
Can I just go back a bit?
Yeah.
Very convenient that you were like, "I'm going to hijack the car," and then a minute later you say hijack. So.
Sure. Okay. So he's pointing his gun at you, and then the cops turn up, and they like beat you up, and this Asian guy who
Classic cops.
I don't want to comment on that.
No, I need to know now.
No,
we can cut it if it's bad.
No, I'm just not going to comment on your comment. I don't want to create any controversy.
Oh, okay. No, it's fine. Biden's in office now. Okay. We got the good guys.
Yeah. All cops instantly became good. So the cops beat you up, and then the Asian guy that's like in charge of the car, he comes down and he's like, "Yep, kill these fools." And the dude's like, "Alrighty, okay, sir." So it looks like you're gonna die, but then instead you like wake up out in the alley, and Jackie's like, "Yeah, me and that cop, we're bros. He's not gonna kill us. He's from the streets," or something. I don't know, something like that. And so then you sit on the edge of the sidewalk, and Jackie's like, "Man, we got screwed over on that job, eh?" And you're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Let's go get some food." And you're like, "Yeah." And they're your best friends.
That's awful.
Yep. Pretty good. That's how you become best friends with Jackie.
Yeah, so now you two are like inseparable.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You get like a 30-second montage that tells you, "Hey, we're best buddies now." Yeah.
And then so that's where it merges. That takes like 40 minutes to do, by the way, like these prologues.
Yeah. What happens now?
So you come out with the 6 months later, and you're sitting in a car with Jackie outside of a building, and he's like, "Oh, it's time to do some job or whatever." And you're like,
rescue a woman.
Yeah, you got to rescue a woman. He's like, "Well, better do the tutorial though before we go in." Otherwise, you won't know what to do.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
So
hey, do you remember how to shoot a gun, even though we've been doing this stuff for several months now?
Yeah. He
You
gives you
should
some...
revise.
So the thing in this game is something called shards, where you like plug them in your head, and it's basically like a video that plays on over your eyes.
Yeah.
So he gives you a shard that's like virtual reality training. So your other friend hijacks it for some reason because she's also super invested in you doing the tutorial. And T-Bug, she like guides you through it.
Yeah.
It's basically just like, teach you how to punch, teaches you how to stealth, teaches you how to shoot things, etc. And then you come out of that, and it's time to do the actual thing, which turns out it's quite time sensitive. So I don't know why you wasted all this time doing the tutorial.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, you eventually find out this chick is dying in a bathtub.
I guess, so I think what happened is you're responding... Wakako is one of the fixers in town, and fixers are like people that like give... they find jobs for mercenaries, basically. They connect mercenaries with people that want jobs done. So this woman, Sandra, is one of her clients, I think, and her, like... I don't know. Somehow Wakako knows that there's an emergency, so she sends you to check it out.
Doesn't she have some, like, life alert bracelet or something?
Yeah, she does, but that's turned off. That's the whole point.
I don't know.
Anyway, you know about to go to this place. So you go in, you break in, there's a bunch of, like... I've forgotten all... Maelstrom, I think, are there. Are they the ones that are there? They're one of the gangs.
Yeah, sure.
We'll say that's them. Could be Tiger Claws. They're also around a lot. They're there. They've, like... beaten up this chick and like almost killed her and dumped her in a bath or something. So you have to, you go through, you rescue her, and then there's like life insurance that's like super life insurance. Whereas like if you get damaged, like an entire SWAT team turns up to like, help you.
Yeah, that was kind of weird, but very
because you reactivate that.
Capitalist.
So she's paid for like the super top insurance where like as soon as anything happens to you, within a minute,
they send an
entire
armed
SWAT team
militia.
to protect you. So
help! I've tripped over. Oh, don't worry, we're coming.
Exactly, that's how it goes. And they've probably I'm sure they've got a doctor with them, but so
you like put this woman down, and then they like push you away. They're like, get the hell off. Yeah, it's like,
how dare you save this person? Okay. That's my job. And so then you leave that job, you head back to your like house, but they lock for some reason that's mostly plot, they lock down the area and you have to like make it through the cordon.
Oh yeah, why did they do that?
I don't know. I think it's something to do with what you were doing, but what you were doing is like happens every day, bro. It's like nothing.
Yeah,
compared to like all the other stuff. Like it's just everyday occurrence of like some woman getting murdered by a gang, like, or trying to get murdered.
Yeah, if they lock the city down every time someone got murdered, oof.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So anyway, you make it. Jackie can get you back in to like your area, which is Watson, I believe, which is where you live, and then from then on, Watson's like locked down, so you can't leave for the whole of Act 1, which is all we're going to be talking about.
Yep.
So it gets you to your house. There's like a bunch of plot on the way where like you see different things that are happening in the city to like,
just like heavy-handed exposition. Like, oh my god! Did you see those people disobey the law and then the super police rocked up and killed them?
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking
wow.
of. Yeah, you go around some corner and there's crazy. Like a couple of dudes causing
Don't mess
some
with the super
chaos,
police.
and the super max police rock up and just absolutely wreck them. So you get to your house, you sleep and all that, and then you're onto this is like the first part where it's technically you are free to roam and do side missions, but you are stuck in Watson. You can't leave Watson because of the lockdown.
What are we going to talk side missions? We might touch on them, but this is really just
I was going to talk any side missions that you want to talk about at the end, but there's not really much you can do here.
There's the boxing one.
Oh, yeah, that's the first one that you see, yeah. There's not much that happens in Act 1 that gives you, like, for proper side missions. There's gigs, which are like, go to this place and do this. Go to this place and murder this person. Go to this place and sabotage this thing. They're pretty generic, but there are story-based ones. Anyway, so the next day, you meet up with Jackie down at the local food market or whatever that's down outside your building. And he tells you that you got a call from Dex, and Dex is the coolest fixer in town. Everyone knows it.
If you get in with Dex, oh boy, you are set for life. This guy he's such a big dog, and no trouble can come of this.
Yeah, that's generally what the deal is. It's weird that all the fixers have like their own region, but like Dex is apparently the best. He doesn't have any region, as far as I can tell. Like,
because he's
too cool for regions.
Yeah,
the whole city's his region. Yeah, so he's a cool dude.
Dex might be the biggest prick ever. Like,
yeah.
So you what? You get in the car. He
wants
with
you to
Dex.
meet with him, so you have to get in the car.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah,
Dex,
so
right? Yeah.
Get in the car with Dex. He gives you a whole spiel about I got a job. I'm fat and I got a job and I think I have a robot arm or something.
He looks like he's like a overweight rapper type. Like,
yeah, he looks very specifically like someone, but I can't.
Yeah,
maybe a wrestler.
He does look like Mark Henry wrestling. A bit.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, he gives you a whole talk about I got a job, and then he's like, tell me, your character is called V, by the way. I don't know if either of us have touched on that.
No, well, who cares?
Because
it's just a name.
Because V is gender neutral.
Yeah, that's the key.
So anyone can talk to it. But then they use like pronouns anyway. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, you get to choose your pronouns in the thing.
I guess it's easier than like V is easier to say than like Victoria and
Vincent.
There we go. I was going to say Vasquez. So, yeah, that'll do. So yeah, he's like, V, I got a job. Would you rather go out in a blaze of glory or die old and pissing yourself or something? I think he says something like that.
Yeah, he
Maybe
does.
I made that up. Okay, yeah.
Something like that. But like he asks you that question.
And then you're like, well, hell yeah, blaze of glory. I don't want to like piss myself and get out like. So he's like, all right, well, I got a job for you then.
Yeah, so he lays out the job. This is where you get given 2 missions as your main mission. This happens a lot throughout the game. Well, I mean, I say throughout the game when I've not played that much of the game, but it happens again, where you get given like 2 or 3 main missions at once, and you just sort of have to progress through them to advance. And then once you've completed all of them, then the story converges again. So in this case, the first thing is you need to meet with the client at some bar that's called something that I forgot. And the other one is you need like a super drone thing that's called something really dangerous sounding, but it actually doesn't look very dangerous once you get it.
The hammerhead.
Yeah, something like that. It's actually quite small and has no weapons, so it's not actually very dangerous.
It just turns invisible.
Yeah, but it sounds like it's like carrying tactical nukes when you hear about it. Its name. Anyway, so those are your 2 options. I don't know which order you did them in. I went to see Evelyn first. Who you don't know her name's Evelyn at this point. I just spoiled that, but there we go.
I think I went. I think I went to her first.
So you go to some bar. She's there. She's got blue hair. She's generally, a female person.
She is a female person.
Yeah.
This is true.
I don't know. You ask her, I don't know if this really matters that much. She tells you the job more, like you're trying to steal stuff. You're trying to steal some microchip from Yorinobu Arasaka, who's like the heir to the Arasaka Corporation.
The big head honchos of the city, essentially.
Yeah, Arasaka's one of the main companies. Probably, I think they're the biggest, but like there's a bunch of big companies. It's like every other post-apocalyptic type game where corporations run everything.
A walkthrough so we don't forget anything.
Yeah, I think I've got most of it in my head, but
we missed the part where you visit Vic. Or maybe that was...
Oh, yeah, you have to go see him. He's your doc. You have to get new eyes.
Yeah.
And apparently you just decided you needed new eyes at this point. Yeah, so he gives you new eyes. Basically, that's just to teach you that Ripper docs are a thing, and they can like give you implants and stuff, and also to set up that Jackie has a girlfriend, Misty, who like runs the fortune tellers, or like she does tarot cards and stuff, and she's just spooky wooky, incense and whatever. Like, that's her personality.
Yeah, she's just kind of like mystic sort of.
She's a mystic. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, we're back at the bar now that we took that detour in the past. Yeah, she just tells you, like, you're trying to steal this chip from Yorinobu. She has some, like, special access, all this sort of stuff. And then you're like, oh, how do you have special access? Oh, why do you want this thing? Oh, questions. And she's like, oh, dodging the answers. I'm not going to tell you anything. Then you get to do a brain dance, which is, like, less fun than it sounds. Well, not for the
really
people that do the normal ones, but
it's
anyway.
It's just VR, but...
Yeah. Most people use it for sex,
Detective
is the thing,
VR.
apparently. Like, you just do sex brain dances, but you don't get to do any of them. You get to do
you
scouting.
just get to do detective work.
Yeah, you have to case
everyone else
sites.
always gets the fun, and we gotta do the detective work.
So you go down and you meet her friend, Judy Alvarez, who is one of the romance options, actually, but only for female characters. So, not for my character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's the, like, tech person that's in charge of brain dances, so she sort of sets you up in the thing. She teaches you how to do it. You watch one where there's some guy robbing a store, and to get the feel for what it's like, you know, you can change layers, you can zoom in and out, you can sort of play it back and forth.
You can die in this, and it feels like you're dead, apparently.
Yeah, that's the gimmick of brain dances, is it, like, literally feels like the thing, so, like, the black market ones are, you get to feel death and all this stuff. Or, like, super creepy stuff, you get to feel that. Yeah, so you practice, and then you go in and you watch one of Evelyn, who's gone up, and she's, like, Yorinobu's side piece person. I don't know if he's married, but, you know.
That's a polite word for it. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, when you go up the elevator, Adam Smasher, I think his name is, he doesn't mince his words. He has a line, that's for sure.
Yeah. Stuff that we're not going to say.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what it is, but I have a good guess.
It's not good.
I have a good guess for what it is.
It is not a good one.
There's like 2 or 3 words in my head that are jumping out to me.
Yeah, he used the word meat. Uses the F word. It's pretty rough.
Yeah. So anyway, she goes through, and she, like, you see that she's, like, sets up all this stuff to, like, well, sort of. She's, like, listening in on his conversations and stuff, and you can obviously then in the brain dance isolate that stuff, and somehow you can hack the phone while in the brain dance to hear the other person. You're essentially
casing the joint.
Oh yeah.
Without being there.
So through all this, you locate all the security, you locate where the chip is, because it has to be in a cold place. You locate, like, the cold place in the area, and so you know exactly where it is. You know how to get past all the security. You just have to, actually go there. And that's about it. Well, then on the way out, is that what you're about to say?
Oh, I was going to say we haven't talked about the other bit yet, but I presume we're getting there.
Oh, yeah, the second mission. Yeah, I was going to say, on the way out of this mission, she sets up a plot point that doesn't pay off at all, which is awkward, but strange. But anyway, she asks you to screw over Dex at the end and give her the chip and not, let him get his money. And you can play it, you mostly play it coy and say, oh, yeah, I'll think about it, as most people do when, you're a protagonist and you get to make the choice. But it never pays off for reasons that we'll find out as we continue. Second mission. Do you want to talk for a bit? I'm starting to... talking about second mission.
Yeah, okay, we're up to the second mission. So, you get, like, an opportunity. I don't know how you get it, but you can call the Militech lady.
Maybe I don't know how you get that information, but you just know that calling the Militech lady is an optional part of this mission.
You can call her and be like, hey, I know what's going on here. I know what's happening. I can help you. And she, gets the people to rough you up or something. So you talk with her and she's like, all right, if you get this, here's some money to pay him or whatever. She gives you what is an obviously,
it's a chip, but that's got money on it, but it's obviously also got a virus on it. And you have a few options. You can obviously you can pay with that. You can try and get the money yourself, or you can deactivate. You can hack the chip and deactivate the virus and pay with that.
Yeah.
But obviously each one has its own consequences because someone's going to be angry at you.
I hacked the chip.
To remove the virus.
Yeah.
I gave them the virus. I was like, screw it.
Oh, okay.
I'd rather. Was she mad at you for that? Wasn't she mad at you for not?
No, nothing happened. I don't know if there was a payoff or if I've just forgotten.
What, so you just walked in and paid and left?
Here's what happened. I walked in, I didn't pay, and I also don't think I got the money.
Oh, you didn't pay with the chip,
happened.
You just hacked it.
I hacked the chip, and then I got to the... Okay, so eventually you work your way into this place.
Yeah, you walk in, it's pretty chill, because they let you in, because you've come to do a deal with Dex.
But then they have it out with you. I think the guy was like, "Oh, sit down, Jackie," and I was like, "You know what? No, we ain't gonna sit." And then, something happened, and anyway, it turned into a bloodbath, and everyone died.
Yeah. Well, see, that seemed avoidable on your part, considering you just paid. You could have paid.
It was.
I played it cool. I told Jackie to sit down. I was chill about it. And then, of course, I gave them the money.
I was going to be chill, but the guy was kind of a dick.
They plugged their chip into their mainframe, and the whole thing, it started just, melting their entire network. So then they got mad at me for that.
Well, there you go.
So then I had to kill
that.
them all.
Yeah. No, I just,
I would presume that if you paid normally, it should have just been fine. But anyway.
I didn't pay anyone, but I also don't think I kept the money from the chip. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So when you got out, though, the lady was there, right? When I left,
maybe.
The woman turned up
there
with
were
all
some
her SWAT
helicopters.
vehicles.
Yeah, no, you're right. You are right. And I think I just said, that went well, and then I walked away, and there were no consequences.
So I presume she was happy with you because you killed all of the dudes, even though you didn't do it.
Yeah.
She was happy with me because obviously I destroyed their system and then murdered them all. And then because you can, I don't want to use the word romance because it's not. But she becomes an option. She booty calls you later if you are friendly to her in this.
I'm not there yet.
In this interaction.
I'm looking at an IGN walkthrough.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can find the mole.
The what?
You know, the person that let it slip to from the actual Maelstrom mole. The person working for Maelstrom, that's why the woman contacts you. She's like, I got a mole. It might be this person.
In what? Wait, I'm confused.
Remember when you first had the meeting with woman? And she's like, I have a mole. And then she whips out some bloke. And he's like, no, it's not me. I'm not the mole.
Yeah, okay.
Apparently you can find the actual mole in that hideout.
Oh, okay. I may have read something about that when I went through. I can't remember, in terms of I'd spotted the text, the message or something, but I don't know. You probably have to go through. You can go through everyone's emails on their computers. You probably have to go through someone's emails and find out who it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay. Yeah, I did not know you could do that. But
no,
yeah. So anyway, probably this ended with you murdering everyone. I'm sure there might be a way that you could do it without murdering everyone, but probably you murdered everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got is it called the Flathead?
You might be right.
Am I onto it? Doesn't sound as dangerous as I thought it did when I said it, but
whatever name it is, it's a pretty cool name. If I was going to have a nickname, I'd take it as a nickname.
I don't know if Flathead would be a good nickname.
If people called me the Flathead, the Flathead,
yeah,
that's a pretty.
I don't know.
Cool
I think it's just because when they first showed it to you, they're like, "Oh, it's a piece of top secret military drone hardware," and I'm like, "Well, this sounds dangerous, and that doesn't even have weapons." Anyway, you've got it now. So once you've done those two missions in either order, you then get called to the Afterlife. I do remember the name of that bar, which is it's sort of the main bar in town, and you have to meet with Dex again. You meet in basically the equivalent of Get Smart's Cone of Silence. You meet in one of them. They have a room that's just a soundproof box that you can go sit in to meet.
Quick, stand in here. Like, okay. We can't just talk here, what?
Yeah. So you go in there and there's you, Dex, Jackie, and T-Bug, who's your hacker woman. He runs down the plan, basically like, oh, you're going to go in posing as these people that are going to sell this thing to X person that's there. But then you got to, but you're not actually there for him. You got to just get into the room and then you hack the security, etc., etc. You go up and you steal the thing and you leave. That's the general plan.
Simple enough, right?
Yeah, it sounds pretty easy. I mean, that doesn't sound very easy, actually, but it sounds pretty... I like this bit where they set up something for you to do, like the whole plan, where you actually know the plan and it's not just like, oh, yeah, let's do this.
Yeah,
and you just wander off
they don't skip through it and say, all right, mission, here's some objective markers, here you go, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and
like,
I especially like that they don't
happening.
say, the thing's at the top of the tower, get there however you want, like sandbox styles. And I was just like, at least we have a plan.
That'd be annoying, eh? Yeah.
And we're actually following it through. And like sometimes linear is cool, like because they can script it that makes sense.
Because they can make things happen that like are exciting. Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Where are we up? Okay, so
we were in the Zone of Silence.
You get dressed up all fancy, and you hop in like a taxi.
Yeah. Oh, actually, just before that, there's an option here to like rat out Evelyn, as I again mentioned in this plot that means nothing. You can tell him that she wants to cut him out, Dex.
I wonder what happens.
Again, I don't feel like there's any ramifications considering how this ends. It seems like... And look, okay, I don't necessarily mind that because setting up things that don't always pay off, like... That's fair enough, like...
That's
sometimes,
how life works.
Yeah, that's how life
Not
works.
Everything is wrapped up.
Sometimes you feel like there's an important choice in your life and then you make it and it turns out it didn't matter at all. So, at least that's appropriate.
Not everything has to be a grand, monumental gesture.
It also means that, like, when they set up a choice for you, you might think, that, you have to think twice about just making a decision and going, well, this is definitely what's going to result from this choice sort of thing. It's like, you'd figure that one way or the other they'd be annoyed by you, but it turns out it doesn't matter at all. Anyway, you get into Delamain.
So you get in, which, I feel like I'm missing something. Like, but I know it's just world building, but like Delamain is this big taxi service and like everyone knows this bloke. I think he's just an AI, but everyone refers to him as if he's like their best friend. Like, Delamain, my man. Remember when we went out to drinks last weekend? Whoa, Delamain. Like, everyone is so friendly with Delamain.
Well, everyone loves Delamain.
And he's just
a cool
Uber.
Dude. Delamain,
Uber.
Yeah, Delamain replaced Uber in the city. He just runs all the taxis at once as an AI. But you can. He's like the medical service where if you pay for the really good Delamain, then like he gets the equivalent. Yeah, you basically get like a tank as your car, and he'll shoot for you.
What's the logic? Who approved this company?
Yeah,
like who was like, all right, screw it. Taxi with guns.
So you've paid for the super taxi with like all the blast shields and the rocket launchers and whatever. So he basically on the way as a way to pass the time on the way to the objective, he explains to you about all this stuff that you get and all how he'll dispose of your body if you die and all this stuff. That's part of your package. And
because I was so confused. I was like, Am I missing something? Is this just normal? Like,
yeah, it did seem a bit random, but again, also like they can't give you exposition for everything.
Yeah, I was
because
gonna say you can't.
V would know this.
Jackie can't turn to you and be like, "Hey V, remember that last time we went in a Delamain taxi and it gives you the opportunity to bring your guns and it disposed of your body?" Like, either way,
I remember it like it was only yesterday.
Yeah,
Ripple
it's
effect.
like you have to dump this on someone or just have it already exist. Yeah. So, like, they went with the better choice, but it is still a bit confusing.
Yeah, it is a bit random. Delamain comes back. I presume you know that. You've done some of this, haven't you?
I've started that side mission.
Yeah. Delamain comes back. It's actually quite fun. There's I'll talk about it more in the side mission section, actually, because it's one of the main ones that I have to talk about. Anyway, so you turn up at Arasaka Tower. I think, is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And everything's going well to start with. You You go to check in. You have to quickly sort of convince the lady not to call the dude that you're meeting because you're not actually meeting him.
Yeah, oh my god, how stupid are the people that work in this place? How dumb. You walk in, you're like, yeah, I'm this person. She's like, all right.
I'm here to meet this other person.
Sense,
and they're like, okay, we'll call him. And they're like, oh, no, it's okay.
Don't call, we're friends. It's like, oh,
we'll come see him later. And she's like, yeah, cool, all right, fine. So you go up to your room. You get to drive not drive it necessarily. You get to watch the flathead move around and do stuff. You get
before you go up to your room, you get to see Hideo Kojima.
Do you?
He's in the bar.
Oh, okay. I probably missed it. Like, do they mention him or not?
They call him something. Like, he has a different name, but it essentially...
Yeah, but they do talk about him.
Oh, he's there, and he's actually, like, having a conversation with other people.
Yeah,
or something.
I remember
but his
going
name
to the
in
bar
game
and
is like Hidema Kajeo or something. And it's
okay. Yeah, no, I didn't notice that, but yeah, that's cool. I do remember the spot that you're talking about. Yep, so you drive the little... Well, again, you don't drive it. You make it move around, and it sort of has to, like, sneak through all these different rooms to find whatever it is it needs to find. I think you need to, like, EMP the lock or something. I don't know.
You have to, short circuit their
they have a security
they're broken the mainframe. Yeah.
So you sneak it in there and, like, knock out their net runner who's running the security so that you can sneak in. And then you head up to the thing. You just get in the elevator and go to the top floor because that's allowed.
That's, like, hell. In my own apartment right here, I can only access my floor and the exit floor.
Yeah.
And this is the biggest company in the world in Cyberpunk, Arasaka or whatever, and you can just go to whatever floor you want.
Yeah, and it's not like the penthouse has a hallway. It's literally you get out of the elevator and you're in the room.
Like, can anyone just go visit old mate? Like, well, I don't get it.
I don't know. Maybe this is something to do with the netrunner being down. But anyway.
Whatever.
You turn up, you go there, you get the thing. Everything seems to be going well until... is the helicopter first or the elevator's coming up or something happens?
The elevator's coming up, I'm pretty sure. Which, at that point, you're already screwed.
Yeah.
Like...
Oh, and then just as you're, like, about to leave, like, get ready to run for it, T-Bug gets burned as well and she gets attacked.
Yeah. Then the helicopter rocks up at some point and you're like, all right, guess we're stuck in the exposition area. Cupboard.
Yeah, so he has... This dude has, like, a television screen that's, like, full length, like, roof to floor, and it's also acts like a one-way mirror and has a little passageway that you can sidle in behind it, conveniently, so you can see out without any interruptions, but they can't see in. And so you get the chip out, and you just go hide in the thing. And just he doesn't put it in his head yet.
Jackie puts it in his.
Yeah, later.
Doesn't he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you go hide, and so Yorinobu's there, and I've forgotten his name. The main guy, the old guy.
Let's just call him Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, I don't think that's the answer.
No.
The old guy that's his father.
He's the matriarch or whatever. Like matriarch.
The patriarch.
Yeah, that's the one. He's in charge. He's the big boss, and he's like, and his son is like, "Oh, I'm angry because my dad was mean to me."
Saburo, there we go, got it.
There we go. Yep.
He's like 150 because everyone's really old in this thing.
Because medical advancements.
Yeah, medical advancements. So basically, now okay, I've got to complain about this game, and it's a big one. I forgot to do it in my initial thoughts. It's a big one. So when you have subtitles on, the game automatically translates Japanese for you. Yeah. But if you turn subtitles off, you don't get subtitles for Japanese dialogue. It's just Japanese, and you have to translate it yourself in your head.
Well, if you speak Japanese, that's not
Yeah,
an issue.
if you know Japanese, it's not a problem. But for most of the population who don't know
I
both
don't
Japanese and
understand
English,
how people can't play games with subtitles anyway.
I hate
I
subtitles.
can't play. I cannot play a game without at least dialogue subtitles.
If I'm doing something else and I've got something else
I can
playing,
hear
I'll put
things
subtitles
perfectly. I can hear things perfectly fine, but it's like sometimes you just want to read it to
I don't like reading ahead. That's my problem.
That is a big issue.
I just find myself staring at the subtitles rather than the scene.
Yeah, that's true.
So I turned them off for this, and then it took me a while to realize that I had no idea what they were saying, and I should have. So I turned subtitles back. So this game particularly, I have to every time someone starts speaking Japanese, I have to quickly turn subtitles on so I know what they were saying.
Just leave them on. Just leave them on.
No,
I don't.
It's a big flaw. There should be a translation-only option on subtitles because it has a different effect because they come up as Japanese characters and then they like scroll through to become English characters. So they know what lines are Japanese and what aren't. So it wouldn't be that hard to just have subtitles on for Japanese. Easy.
That is weird. Weird, yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
But because this was the first time it happened to me, so I just thought I wasn't allowed to hear what they were saying. And...
Yeah, the biggest exposition dump of the game. You're like, I guess that's interesting.
So they talked for like half of their dialogue that they had. They talked for like 5 minutes, and they talked for half of that before I realized I needed to turn subtitles on to actually hear what they're saying.
They talk a lot of. Well, it's just like, you're mean to me, Dad. Oh, I did it for the good of. I shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, he doesn't impress. He says some stuff, and
basically, so. Yorinobu had stolen this chip from the company, and now you've stolen it from them.
Yeah.
But they don't know about that yet. And he's basically like, Saburo's like, oh, you're a traitor. Oh, you're the worst. And he's like, no, you are the one who is the worst. And then that's basically the summary of it.
I expected this to go the opposite way to the way it did. I'll be honest.
I don't know what I expected to happen.
I knew. Okay, so one of them dies. I 100% expected old mate to kill young mate. Because there is a point where his, hands are clasped behind his back or something. Or I was like, oh, he's concealing. He's just going to straight up stab the bloke. I thought the young bloke was done. And then they get close enough. And I was like, all right, that's it. It's over. And then Yorinobu just, beats the crap out of him.
Yeah, doesn't he he beats him up against the glass.
He bangs his head against the glass, yeah.
And then he strangles him a bit. And then his bodyguard rocks up because he'd been kicked out, Takamura, who becomes a main character later on. He rocks up and he's like, oh man, what happened? And Yorinobu's like, oh, some dude, they broke in and they killed him and they ran away. It's it reminds me of you've seen the first episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine where they're on door knocking duty and some guy opens the door and he's like, oh, hey, do you smell that weed smell, dude? Yeah, it's craziest thing. This dude ran in, smoked some weed, and then he ran away. That's what it reminds me of. So, because Takamura rocks up and he's like, yeah, these dudes came in, they killed him, and now they're gone. Plausible.
It's so, yeah.
But of course you're there, which becomes the perfect scapegoat because then everyone thinks it's you later on, or to a point.
Yeah. But the whole time, and it's so unnecessary. You're hiding in this one-way mirror TV cupboard thing, and every couple of seconds or something, Jackie's just like, "Oh no, bro! Oh no, OT!" It's like, dude, just shut the hell up! Just shut up! Just let me watch this. And he's just like,
what if this glass isn't that soundproof? He's like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god, are you seeing this, V? Oh.
This dude's getting his head banged against the thing, and Jackie's just like, holy crap, did you see that? Oh my god.
He just killed that guy. Yeah, I know. Bro.
I sure hope they do not find us in here, or else they will blame us for it, or probably kill us.
I believe they leave, right? At the end of this, they both leave.
Just
Takamura and Yorinobu leave.
Go.
Yeah. So
I think Adam Smash and rock up as well?
Yeah, he's there at some point.
Because I was like, oh, Takamura is dead too. He's gonna die.
Yeah, they rock up and then they all leave, and so it's just you and the body of Saburo, and you try and leave. and then like do you get out on the window first or do you get spotted first? I can't remember, but you get out on the window ledge for some reason.
Yeah, I think you. Oh, because you're like, quick, get me an exit, and then you get out the back door, and then the helicopters rock up.
Yeah.
Because then you slide down the building.
Yeah, you're sidling along the windowsill, then you have to slide down, and you like do some massive fall, and of course Jackie breaks the briefcase that had the thing in it because it needs to be kept cold. So now, see, literally the only thing I knew about this game was that you put the chip in your head. That's the only thing I knew about it before I started playing.
I knew the chip goes in your head, and then on the chip is Keanu
I didn't even know
Reeves.
he was on it.
That's all I know. Yeah,
I didn't even know that. I mean, I presumed it once I heard it was a personality chip, as we because they do talk about this being a personality chip as we at this point, I believe, and we already know that. Yeah. So, of course, when you ring up Evelyn, she says, "You're going to have to put it in one of your heads." I'm like, obviously me, lol. Like, and he's like, "No, I'm going to do it." Yeah. Jackie's like, "No, I'm doing it." Puts it in his head. And the weird thing is that he doesn't have any, he doesn't experience any weird stuff that happens to him. I mean, and also, it doesn't save his life, even though it saves yours later. Plot hole.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe because he's already dying from being...
I guess. He's not that injured at this point, is he? Doesn't he get shot later?
I don't know.
I
think he's just hurt now or something.
Oh, maybe. So anyway, now you have to sneak down all these floors. I mean, you can just murder your way through, but I tried to sneak. Sneak down all these floors of the tower.
Oh no, I tried to sneak, but the stealth in this game is subpar.
Yeah. I'm not proud, but I always I like to be cinematic, so if I get spotted, I will often reload a save just to try and do it stealthily.
Oh, how could you?
I know I waste a lot of time.
All right, here I go.
I like to think that it makes more... I like to not be like a superhuman murdering machine that kills 25,000 people when the building's swarming with guys. I feel like it makes more sense story-wise for me to escape stealthily from this building.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So I would, in that situation, I try to reload the save just to, so that in my head, even though it doesn't matter, in my head, the canon makes more sense to me. It's a better story.
Yeah. Oh, I get that.
So you get down this building either way, and Jackie gets shot at some point, or he's injured or whatever. He's bleeding out. I think there's not much that happens. At one point you fight a massive mech, but I think you can just run for it and run to the elevator.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I killed it. It was pretty easy.
Yeah, probably.
You just shoot it with shotgun a couple of times.
Yeah.
There was one bit where what I would imagine was meant to be a kind of boss fight. He got stuck in the elevator and just kept glitching up and down. And I was like, okay, this is free. And I just killed him in the elevator. Yeah. And then I got in the elevator with Jackie, and all of a sudden Jackie was just horizontal. So there was something wrong with that elevator, that's for sure.
Yeah. I mean, there are definitely there are glitches in this game. It's no way it's... There are lots of glitches, but they're not it's not completely broken as it is on other platforms.
No.
So you get to the garage or wherever you're going, and you get in your tank, car.
Delmain, Nuba.
Delmain. I believe you shoot down a couple of helicopters that are chasing you or something, right?
I think
so. Make that bit
so.
You're being chased and you shoot down some stuff. And then Jackie is like, I'm not going to make it. I'm going to die. And you get real mad and depressed. And he gives you the chip and you put it in your head. And then he dies. And then you get a chance to send his body somewhere. And this actually matters, and I didn't know that it mattered. Where did you send his body?
I didn't. I was like, all right, Delamain, just keep Jackie here. I'll be back.
Ah, that's interesting. I don't know what's going to happen to it then. So the three options are keep it, send it to his family, or send it to Vic the Ripperdoc. Now, I sent it to Vic because, and I think this is good reasoning, I thought it would be weird for his body to randomly show up at his family's house.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
But apparently, sending it to his family is, quote unquote, the right thing to do, because then you get a funeral side mission.
Oh, okay. No, okay. I got that. So I assumed Delamain... Oh, no, that's right, because Delamain was like, oh, you disappeared, so I just sent him to his family. That's right.
There you go. Yeah,
That's
I
what
didn't get
happened.
that. I don't get a funeral side mission. I'll never
All
get
right,
a
well,
funeral side mission.
we'll talk about that. I'll talk about that
Yeah,
eventually.
I will never play that funeral side mission because I thought it
Yeah.
would be weird for his body to randomly show up at his family's house, and what happens is actually later on in the main story. This is not spoilers, but you are with Takamura and you ask him what happened to the body or something, and I believe Vic tells you that the dude stole it. Arasaka dude stole it, the body, and then you ask Takamura about it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's probably in some top secret facility or something like that." So I don't know if there's going to be more to it.
Ooh, Jackie boss fight? Question mark. Jackie
reanimated
Jackie DLC, Jackie spin-off.
I don't know. But, yeah, so, funeral failed for me. So we're basically at the end here.
Bit, but yeah, so you're like, damn, I'm kind of angry at Mark Henry deaths.
You're meeting at one of those places where it's like, everyone knows it's the place to meet when you're doing shady stuff, but it's still apparently a legitimately good place to be. Like, if everyone knows that that's the place where all the shady stuff happens, wouldn't the cops turn up there all the time?
You'd think so.
But no, it's like, it's both commonly known as the shady place to go, but also completely safe to do shady dealings. So you turn up at this motel. Dex is there.
Yeah, you get angry at him. He has his bodyguard there. You're like, damn, you're a bastard, man. And he's like, that's fine. Why don't you go freshen up in the bathroom?
Yeah, he's mad at you. He thinks that you killed Saburo and all this stuff.
Yeah.
He thinks you messed it up when really you did it pretty well, and then just turned out stuff went down. You go into the bathroom and then you come back out.
You're an idiot.
Yeah. Well, you clean yourself off a little bit. Well, yeah. I actually wasn't expecting it. I didn't expect to get shot.
I was like, I'm obviously going to get clocked here. Someone is obviously going to just beat the crap out of me.
I think by the end of the conversation, I'd sort of talked him down a bit, and I was like, yeah, I guess we're bros. I don't know.
He was like, all right, we'll see what's happening. We'll figure this out together. Go freshen yourself up. And I was like, you bastard, you're going to stab me in the back. You son of a bitch.
So you walk in and he shoots you.
Yep. Tosses you in the trash. I think, yeah.
I think that's after the flashbacks, but yeah.
Oh, okay. Is that part of Act 2? Or what?
We're continuing on anyway, but until the bit where you get to wake up.
You get shot, and then you have flashback powers where you are Keanu Reeves, except you're called Johnny Silverhand.
Yeah.
He's a rocker from back in the 2020s?
Yeah, 2023 was when this all went down.
Okay. He tried to do a terrorist thing against Arasaka or something, and
he did blow up Arasaka Tower.
Oh, yeah.
And killed
he did some bad
millions
stuff,
of people or something.
But it essentially amounted to nothing.
Yeah.
They found him, they kidnapped him, they put his mind in an engram.
Still not sure why they did that.
Torture.
Like,
I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, but he was just sitting there doing
nothing,
bro. Like, I don't think he was like. Why would you try to surely the purpose of this technology is to, I assume, the reason they invented this technology was to preserve Saburo when he died eventually. But then they just
I think it's just
use it on their arch nemesis.
Purgatory. It's
I guess.
Plus, I don't think there's it's not exactly to to
well, yeah, no, but and then the other thing is that the chip. We find out later that the chip overrides the personality of the person that puts it in.
Yeah, that
and murders them. So what they've done by putting him on this chip is giving him the ability to have a second life when he's their arch nemesis.
Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of like. It's still kind of scummy to do it.
To a point.
Yeah, I think that's the whole
I think
thing.
It's a bad. I don't like this plan. I think just killing him
it's not a good plan. Yeah, but killing him isn't enough, right? If someone blew up my monument to the skies, I wouldn't be too happy.
Oh, they rebuilt it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
That's the thing. At the point we're at in the story, Johnny, his whole plight amounted to nothing. Because everything just got worse. The whole society in Cyberpunk is just capitalist, like it's just a capitalist wet dream. It's like, here's an ad everywhere. Everything's an ad. Everything's trying to sell you something. Oh my god, everyone. Like, it's just, here's your slums. It's all a class system. Like, it's just horrible. It would be horrible to live in this world.
Definitely. So you go through all this as Johnny. You eventually, like, he gets killed effectively by Atom Smasher mostly, but anyway, and then they like revive you and they put you in the chip and blah blah blah. Then I believe you go back to the junkyard and you sort of wake up and
so you wake up as V.
And I believe, is it Takamura that kills Dex?
Takamura's there. Dex is like, hey, I found him. I'm a good guy. You should let me go, right? And then Takamura's like, nah, F you. Kills Dex. And then he, like, rescues you? Not rescue. He takes you to get questioned, but then you end up getting assaulted by bad people.
Arasaka, right?
I don't know.
Takamura's an outcast now.
Yeah, I guess.
Because he failed to protect the person that he was protecting. Yeah, you end up getting to Vix and like being just saved from dying again.
And then you have you wake up and Vic is like, damn, I'm sorry, you're becoming Keanu Reeves. And you're like, no.
Yeah, basically.
Just, there's worse things happen.
Yeah. So the chip apparently like saved your life. I don't know how, but apparently it did from being shot. And then now Keanu Reeves is taking over your mind, and he's eventually going to like completely become you, and you're going to be nothing, and etc. And if you try to take the chip out, you're going to die because it's damaged, something, etc. So that's like the main hook is.
Like
what am I gonna
hand
do?
wavy we can't fix it. You got to keep Keanu Reeves around for a bit.
Yeah, so Keanu Reeves basically follows you around now, like commenting on all your missions, etc. With plot, and there are bits where there are like entire like after you do main missions, there's a lot of the times where he'll just sit down with you and have a chat about his like life goals or whatever.
Yeah, basically. I don't know if we're branching off into the next act now, but there was a bit, because, so eventually you kind of feel better. Right, let's wrap up this act. You kind of feel better. You go back to your apartment, you lay down, you sleep on your bed like an asshole. Like, you sleep horizontally.
You sleep sideways on your bed, it's so dumb.
I don't mean like everyone sleeps on their bed horizontally. You sleep like sideways.
You don't sleep
like an
lengthways. You sleep,
it's absurd. Anyway, you wake up. You're like, damn, I'm kind of in pain. I'm gonna take these tablets and get rid of you.
Isn't
Keanu
there a whole
Reeves.
red pill, blue pill thing?
I think there is kind of like that. Except, you can
take the red pill or the blue pill or whatever.
Tablets,
one of the
Keanu
pills
Reeves.
like suppresses him, and the other pill like is just like screw it, I'm going to die
accepts
immediately.
it. Yeah.
I'm assuming
Keanu
you don't get the
Reeves
chance to
is just
take
like,
those
nah.
blue pills, right? I'm assuming they'll come up later. You'll get a chance to take them.
I doubt it.
There are points
I doubt
also,
it.
again, when you talk to him, there are points where you can just like basically shut down the conversation by just taking a pill, like in his face while he's trying to talk to you, to like shut him off.
But
I haven't done
he's
it,
like, no, you're not getting rid of me, you bad man, V, you. And he kind of beats you up somehow, even though he's just a figment of your imagination.
He doesn't have physical form, but he beats you up.
And then he forces you to like bang your head against a window until you pass out. End of Act 1.
Yeah, okay. I want to jump a little bit further because, right, you take these red pills to get rid of him for a bit. Then he comes back later and he's like, now you're bro for the rest of the time?
I was just going to say that because you have this big fight with him and then I walk downstairs and then he's like, hey, come over here and listen to me give exposition. And I was like, what, we're on speaking terms now? Like, I was
I've decided not to kill
confused.
you now, and for some reason now I no longer wish to kill you. We're gonna be friends.
Like, you go from just at blows with one another to he's like, hey, let me tell you about the good old days when I was a rock star. And I'm like, what? Why are we doing this?
So like, it's a weird dynamic that like he keeps.
Yeah.
He now says that he doesn't want to take over your body and
Kind of has an
etc.
understanding that he has to work with you essentially.
I guess.
Like to
I mean,
figure
the beating
out.
us up thing seemed to be working.
Yeah, I think he's in it so he can figure out what like Arasaka's up to, like so he can solve the mystery too and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's about all we're going to talk about as far as main story goes here.
I've advanced a fair bit further, but
I have done a few missions, but absolutely not as much. Yeah.
And yeah, that's a good spot to leave it anyway.
So yeah,
so
we could probably do like a 3-part Cyberpunk discussion.
Oh yeah, if we were going to do the whole game, even just main story, it would be like 3 episodes, bro. Like,
yeah. Side missions. I'll talk about the funeral one first, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, you call Jackie's mom. You're like, "Damn, I'm sorry about what happened," and she's like, "Yeah, you know, I've lost all my other kids. What's new? Haha." And then you're like, "All right, I'm gonna come see you for the funeral." And then you go see her, and she's like, "Oh, because of our culture or something, you leave something that represents who he was, or some jazz. I don't know." So anyway, you go to like his garage, which is conveniently like next door to the bar, and you're searching through all his stuff, and you get a bunch of like Jackie exposition about like, "Oh, this belt was important to him because
it held his pants up."
Yeah, well, that too. His dad was abusive, and he used this. You really ruined.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have undercut that. That was quite serious of a moment.
Yeah, his dad was abusive with the belt or something. So one day he stood up to his dad and kicked him out or something, and then he's like, "Oh, here's a book. Jackie loved this book," or something. And then you eventually just pick an item that you think best represents who Jackie was. Then you convince Misty, his girlfriend, to come to the funeral. She's like, "Oh, I don't think I should go. His mum doesn't like me." And I'm like, "Yeah, you know, but it's not about what the mum likes. This is for Jackie. You should go for Jackie." Hey, and then, so yeah, you go to the funeral, you give her like a speech and put down your item, and you go around and talk to different people, and they're like, "Yeah, damn, so it's bad what happened to Jackie." But yeah, it's a pretty good side mission.
Man,
nothing
I have
happens.
regrets about not going.
Yeah,
to
nothing
this
happens,
mission.
but it's like just good story content.
I really hope that there's like I can recover his body at some point and get to do this.
Yeah, you rescue his body from Arasaka and just kind of talk to him there. Like, "Damn, Jackie, I'm sorry you're dead."
I was sort of thinking more like give it to his family and then they will hold a funeral.
It's already dead, bro. It's long gone. It's too late.
You'd think if they were going to hold a funeral, I would have been invited. Like, surely they still held one.
Maybe they're mad because Delamain sent them a message and was like, "Oh, V decided not to send the body to the family. I'm sorry about this." They're like, "Damn, screw that guy."
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, do you get his bike out of that mission?
Yeah, you go to the funeral and then his mum's like, "He would want you to have his bike." And I was like, "Oh, sweet. I'm not going to pass that up." Like,
yeah, well, so I also get the mission to ring her up. And I just rang her up and I was like, "Yeah, it sucks. She's dead, eh?" And she's like, "Yep, have this bike." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
Yeah, you're not getting a funeral. There's no funeral coming for you.
I doubt it, eh? Yeah, I rang her up and she's like, "Yeah, I gave him your bike. I gave you his bike because, you know, figured you'd want you to have it. There you go. See ya." And then, Misty basically barely interacts, like, about it. I think you can ask her once, like, how she's going, and she's like, "Oh, I'm a bit sad," and that's, like, it. So I'm a bit depressed.
But yeah, it's a good mission.
Second place.
There we go.
Some side missions I've done. Now, I assume you've done this part of the mission where you go down to get in your car at the very start.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just get rammed by a Delamain car.
I was like, "Oh, here's a glitch. I just experienced a glitch." And it's like, "No, you just got rammed by a car."
Yeah.
As part of story content.
And then, like, he texts you and he's like, "Oh, sorry about that. you should come down to the office and we'll pay you for the compensation. So that spawns a whole bunch of side missions with Delamain where he's like, oh, I've got split personality disorder and all my cars have gone rogue.
Yeah, I only just went down there and spoke to him. And that place was super suspicious. I was like, something's going to kill me here.
Yeah.
Like, you're walking through this factory, I was like, I'm just going to die in here. But it's actually pretty chill. So
I like these missions. They're pretty fun. They're basic, but they're fun. There's one car that wants to kill itself rather than go back, and you have to convince it to not kill itself. There's one car that literally is GLaDOS from Portal, and just does
missions.
all the GLaDOS lines, and then it sets you up to die. It's pretty good. Some of them are just they've all got crazy personalities and stuff.
Yeah.
I think there's one car that just talks to you about it having an existential crisis, and if you send it back, it's gonna try and murder everyone from the inside or something, and then you just send it back anyway. I don't know. It's weird stuff. So that's one. I'm trying to think if there's any other good side missions that I've done that aren't very spoilery. I mean, have you met Panam yet?
No, I don't think. Oh, I haven't. But I'm pretty sure I got the start of that mission.
You probably
where
have.
She's like, hey, woman, I want to do this. And she's like, nah.
Yeah, she's the one that storms out when you go to talk to Rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Her missions are good. I won't go too much into it because, whatever. But, you get to develop, a proper... I mean, she's one of the romance options, but you get to develop, a proper relationship with her.
And
she's
straight
cool.
romance. Yeah.
She's the only... There's only really 4 main romances, that actually... And they're, one for... It fits all, if you're a man and you want a man, there's one. If there's a man and you want a woman, there's one.
Johnny, you can't romance Johnny Silverhand, but that'd be interesting.
Well, he can beat you up, so I mean...
That's not a healthy relationship.
Maybe I'm not going to say it, but... something similar to what I just said.
I know where you're going here.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. They're pretty good. Oh, I told you about this one. It's just completely random, but I was walking through this park and there was just a monk there, and he just
Did you tell me about this one?
I did, and he said some Confucius stuff to me, and then
I don't remember.
He gave me a brain dance where I literally just meditated. It was just him meditating.
I don't think you've told me about
I did.
this.
I've told you about this. I'm telling you I've told you. I know for sure I've told you about this.
I remember this.
I haven't talked about this with anyone else because no one else has played this.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
I've definitely talked about it.
I don't know.
He just does a meditation, and then you come out of the brain dance and he's gone, and it's cool. And he's like, I'll see you again later. It's
yeah.
Seems weird. What else have I done?
What other side missions I've done? Yeah, I haven't really. I've done a couple of the. Oh, okay.
I've done heaps of gigs.
I did one of those boxing ones where you box with the twins that are the same person, which I thought was a pretty funny mission.
Yeah, it was a good bit.
They're twins, but they have the same personnel. They are the same person.
Yeah.
He just runs both bodies. So, you make jokes at their expense. The whole mission, you're like, oh, so when you sleep with a girl, do you both sleep with her? Or blah, blah, blah. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what other side missions
I've mostly ignored a lot of my side missions because
I'm kind of I've been trying to do a lot of story content because that's what interests me the most now.
I mean, it's
I don't want to detract too much from it.
I feel like every time I do one gig, I drive to the next place, someone calls me and they're like, hey, do you want to do this? I'm like, well, okay, I guess. I've done the one, there's one that you get given by Sandra, who, that you save at the start. She gives you a mission.
I think I just got that. I think I missed a call from her or something.
Yeah,
because
she
I was looking through my missions, and it was
you have to,
remember that chick you
her, and it turns
do
out
something
she's...
for her.
Yeah, you steal some chip for her, and it turns out she's into some, black market stuff, but I don't think it actually...
Okay.
I don't think it matters how you resolve it. You can sort of resolve it by, trying to help her out or whatever, but I don't think it really matters. I don't think there's many more that I've actually done, that are actually main story, actual things. They give a very vague story to all the gigs and stuff that you do, but they're not anything serious.
Yeah, I've really just done like main story stuff again. I haven't played nearly as much of this game as I would have liked.
No.
And I'll get around to it. Absolutely.
Actually, before we finish, I want to talk about the obsessive compulsive disorder of these fixers who have a desperate need to sell me cars, and I don't understand why.
Okay, we can talk about that now. I don't know if I have to legitimately do all these missions
over 20 car
to
missions.
be 100%. I have a whole heap too. It's like I'm not going to buy. I don't need another car.
No, I've been using this Jackie's bike since the beginning.
I'm still using the bike. Why? Unless these cars handle better, and there's a very good chance they do, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like every place you go, they text you and they say, "Hey, do you want to buy this car? Hey, do you want to buy this car?
So
hey, I have this car."
Market for a new car.
And a lot of them are like, "Oh, this car's going to go quick," and I'm like, "Well, I hope it does, because then it's gone and I won't have to buy it." There's so many. I don't get it. It has its own tab, like buying car missions.
Yeah,
and they have the same icon on the map as a regular mission. So, like, you go through looking on your map, like, okay, where's the nearest mission to me? And it's like, oh, buying this car? No thanks.
I wish, like... Okay, we've talked about missions. Let's talk about, like, the more nitty-gritty, I guess. I do not like the user interface one bit. I hate it. The back button is the pause menu, and the pause menu is what the back button should be. I hate that.
True. I just get used to it, I guess.
I do not like the whole perks thing. You can't tab between the different perks, like with bumpers. You have to back out and go into the other one.
Yeah, that is annoying.
Or select it with the cursor, I'm pretty sure.
I didn't really get the perk system to start with, too. Like, I wasn't sure...
There is no explanation for any of this.
Because you've got your base levels of things, like cool and intelligence, strength, and whatever. And those you level up with your skill points. And then... But you've also, like, can level up your actual abilities within those categories. So, in intelligence, you can level up your quick hacking ability or your breach protocol by doing that thing. And then
they don't tell you how to do any of this.
Then the perks have on them, they say, available once you reach level what? And so at first I thought that meant I had to be level 7 quick hacking to unlock that perk. But I think it means I have to be level 7 intelligence. So it's actually based on leveling up my skill points rather than the skill itself.
They don't tell you how to upgrade the skills. They don't tell you how, like, hacking works really, or how to upgrade you.
Yeah, they don't explain much. They just say you can go to a Ripper Doc.
Arbitrary loot system with, like, just a stupid, like, you know, it's a numbers game, but do these matter at all? Does any of this matter? Why is someone harder than... There's no numbers. Give me numbers to work with. Why is... Like, if my gun is 250 damage, but... You know, how does that compare to my armor? How much damage are other people doing to me? Like,
yeah, the stats screen is also broken. Like, you never can see any of your stats, like in terms of your actual like armors and stuff and all that. I don't know.
They need to organize the missions better because, like, once you accept those Delamain jobs, and you have like the fighting jobs, and you have all these cars. It's like you are scrolling through legitimately 40 different things.
At least the cars have their own tab, but so you don't like mix them up with your side missions. But there was points where I had over 20 side missions.
But now, I have the Delamain things to do. They don't all fall under the one mission with like different
7
like
waypoints.
boxes you can tick off.
There's actually both.
It's ridiculous.
They give you a mission. I believe that mission's called Epistrophe. They give you Epistrophe, and then they give you 7 submissions.
Yeah.
That are also all called Epistrophe : this area. And so if you try to track Epistrophe as a whole, it just says, do the 7 things, and there's no waypoints. And then each one has its own mission that has a waypoint. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's the same for the fighting ones, and it's just
It's a bit annoying. Like, there's little things in this game that you could alter, and I would be infinitely, like, more impressed. Legitimately, my biggest issues with this game come from, like, how it feels to play it and interact with it, which is, like, you know, the entirety of what a game is, essentially.
Yeah.
it's such a shame because, like, story is fantastic, world building is fantastic, dialogue is fantastic. All of the deeper stuff that, make this an interactive experience, that stuff is fantastic. It's just, like, navigating that world is such a chore. Gunplay, kind of dodgy. Driving, kind of dodgy. Menus, kind of dodgy. Explanations on anything, kind of dodgy. Like,
It's one of those games where you also get, like, 200 pages of, like, lore screens that you can look through of, like,
it's like,
what's this mean?
I don't want to read all this, but, like, I really appreciate that it's there, but when you put, like, a text log, like 5 in every room, it's like, I'm not going to stop playing this game to read 4 paragraphs of lore.
Is that there's books
or stuff.
There's books, but it doesn't. When you see a book, you don't know whether you've already have it or you've already read it before. You have to remember the titles of books you've already read, otherwise you just keep reading them over and over. I mean, like, I go around and I go, oh, here's another book. Like, you could just go through and spam pick up all the books, but some of them you've probably already read. Like, you've already got that in your thing. So, like, I would normally try and read them if I see them to be like, oh, well, let's find out about this place. But actually, they're all just generic and they're all over the place and there's copies and copies, and you end up reading something that you've already read before. If you do want to find out more.
Yeah, when you kill someone and you loot their body, it's never good. I'm never getting good gear. This isn't like... I'm not going to make the comparison, but it's like there is no benefit to acquiring loot in this game. I never feel like this game it's not a looter shooter. It's just kind of like a story with, like, I guess mechanically it's very similar to, like, Skyrim in that these things do more damage and stuff. But none of that matters because I don't understand, like, why I need better stuff. Do people hit harder in different areas?
I believe
so.
That's
not explained to me.
Missions have a ranking of, like, very hard, sort of hard,
I haven't crafted a single thing yet. There is no need for me to do so.
The problem is, right, that you don't have anything to craft early on. So my crafting's been critically low for ages because I just have nothing to craft. Like, I don't need to craft ammo. I can find it. I don't need to craft, like, random guns for no reason. I have guns. So I've been... The end game idea is that you get an iconic weapon that you like and then you upgrade it to higher rarities.
Yeah.
So I got a sniper rifle from one of the Pan Am's missions, and I've been, like, working on upgrading it. So I've upgraded it from rare to legendary, and now I've got to upgrade it to from rare to epic, and now I've got to upgrade it to legendary. So that's something to work towards, but it's like I got to try and level up my crafting as well, like by actually just crafting stuff for no reason.
It's, I don't know. Like, the more I talk about the flaws with this game, the more it seems like I hate it. The more I myself, find that I'm not enjoying it. But it's only like it's just that stuff. The actual game and story itself is fun. It's great.
Yeah.
It's just
fun to live in the world. It's fun to talk to the people. And the missions...
This other crap.
Even though the gig missions are generic, they're not so generic that you can still remember them. Like, I remember certain people. Like, there's stories behind... It's not just, like, rescue this person. There's stories behind why you have to rescue them and, like, what they've done. And there's sort of dialogue in each side mission that gives you a reason to care. But... yeah, it is very mechanically... It's not the best. I mean, I guess Skyrim is the same, isn't it? Skyrim mechanics are pretty bad as well.
Yeah.
It's hard to do, like, good first-person open-world stuff, or even, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a weird one.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But I don't think it's there.
I don't... Yeah. Like... Alright, what are you rating, like, up to where we've played now, or, like, where we've discussed, what are you rating this?
Oh, okay. I don't know. It's hard to rate because, again, I don't know what the what the scale is. Like, do I need to scale this rating down because I haven't played it all? I feel like I know what it is. You know what I mean? Like,
based on what you've played now, if that was like the whole game essentially, yeah.
I think that it basically is as well. Though is the thing. It's like, I mean, the only thing I think I know what the game is. And I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to become something else.
The gameplay itself will not evolve from this point.
I don't think it's going to become something else. I don't think they're going to change how they do approach missions or how they approach stories as they go through. Not. The only thing they can do is make a really bad story decision at the end. Look, I got to rate it. I'll rate it an 8 because I think it's good, and I think it's an achievement for being huge and providing heaps of. It's going to take up a lot of my time. So
I'm going to give it...
It's worth it.
70 out of 100 car purchase missions.
Yeah, fair.
Because it's like... I was very tempted to give it a 6. Or a 60, rather. But I think that's too harsh. It's not a 60 or 60 out of 10 game. Right? Like, it's good. This game is good, and I would recommend it to absolutely everyone if... You can run it on proper hardware, mind you.
If you don't have new consoles, don't even try.
No, God no. PC, I'm sure it's fine. I'm not a PC person. If you have the new generation of PS5 or Xbox One Series X, go for it. Absolutely. It's fine. It's just fiddly. Fiddly is the best description I can give of this game. But the story is and the world building are absolutely what carries this game. It's not trying to reinvent the wheel. It's not doing anything new or revolutionary. It's just big, and the story is good, and that's all you need.
Final sub point. The whole world isn't actually they didn't make it, which is I thought they did when I first started playing, but they've taken this from somewhere. It's not like they came up with it on their own either, is the thing.
No.
The cyberpunk world.
No.
Which is something that, they're using characters that already exist. So I guess they can't get all the credit for that part. But in terms of realizing that, they've done a good job. That's what I'll say about that. Yeah. The Witcher, they just invented that, right?
I think, wait.
The Witcher's based on books,
don't you have this backwards? I'm confused. What do
you mean?
What have they based the characters on?
Cyberpunk is like a role-playing game, like D&D from ages ago.
I know that Cyberpunk is like a genre. I didn't know Cyberpunk was
Cyberpunk 2077 role-playing game. Was The Witcher based on books? Or
The Witcher's based on books. Yeah, okay. The Witcher's based on books.
Well, then, I don't know.
Well, loosely based on books, but...
Okay,
I knew Cyberpunk was a role-playing game, but I didn't think it was
system.
I thought that was more just... Oh, that's right, because Cyberpunk 2020 was
Cyberpunk 2020, yeah.
Yeah,
and Cyberpunk Red.
Yeah,
and it's got the same characters and stuff. So Alt or whatever, who becomes a main character later, she's from the thing.
It's typically referred to by its second or fourth generation name, Cyberpunk 2020, Cyberpunk Red. So... Other media, collectible card, miniature, video games. Okay. Yeah, okay. No, I didn't know. I knew Cyberpunk was a pre-established thing.
Cyberpunk's like a genre, yeah.
I never saw the link between. I
didn't find that out until
I knew it,
I'd already played a lot of it. But yeah, it's actually the characters are from.
There we go. We could have had a history section.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
All right, there we go.
So 70 out of 100.
Yep, I'm giving it 8
car
out
purchase
10,
missions.
And
that's
it.
Yeah, play this game, buy this game. It's good. If you have time, buy it if you have the time for it.
Yeah,
because
you're not going to. I mean,
to devote. You can't smash this out in a couple of hours.
Even if you're only focusing main story, it's going to take you
I'm not even going to say arguably. This is the biggest game we've reviewed on this podcast.
Oh yeah, easily. And that's why we didn't review all of it.
Yeah, set aside a lot of time, have a lot of time to play this game. It's worth it. It's just you got to put in the time. But yeah.
speaking of a lot of time, you may have missed our announcement episode that we did, which was talking about how it takes us a lot of time to play all these games, and therefore we are changing our content mix. So if you missed that, we will not be doing another game in 2 weeks' time. We'll be doing a movie review, a video game movie review. We don't know what that is yet. We're going to decide.
Probably
and then we're going to review
garbage, because all
probably
video
something
game
bad
movies
because they're mostly
are
bad.
Garbage. But that's the beauty.
I was going to pitch a movie that I know you'll hate, but
tell me which one, and based on my reaction, whether
it's
you
not
hear
actually
the
based
gunshot,
on it. Well, I know you'll hate it, and I know why you hate it, because I know you hate the person that's in it.
If you son of a bitch! I know you're going to say Pixels. I know you're going to say Pixels. You son of a bitch! No way. I wanted to pitch
Pixels because I know you hate Adam Sandler. So, but we'll do one that's actually based on an actual game first. But anyway, that'll be around in 2 weeks, and then we'll be back with a game show in a month. There might be some shows in between. There might not.
Not a game show, mind you.
Yes, we'll be doing a game show.
Stay tuned for The Price is Right in a month.
Yeah. Another one like this will be out in a month. And there might be some episodes in between some of those episodes.
So, the 2 week rotation is now changed from game to game, movie, essentially.
Yep. That's the main part. Listen to the announcement if you want to find out everything about that.
We just basically told you it is.
We did tell you pretty much all of it, but we did do an announcement video.
This is the shortest episode we have ever done, I think.
No,
good job, us.
Dude.
What was our shortest
Big fail.
one?
Our first episode was like an hour 25, bro. Like, Halo was like... We smashed out Halo in like an hour 10.
What's wrong? What? There is no way.
Something like that. They were all really short. Let me get my...
all right, let me pad for time.
Drive up here.
Okay, so hour 22? Oh, my... Halo was hour and a half? Where did we go wrong? Shadow of the Colossus is where we went wrong.
Yeah, Shadow of the Colossus was our first
long
one.
Resident Evil was like hour 30. Okay, well...
Yeah.
Maybe we did have some shorter ones.
Yeah, bro. Our shortest one was...
Outlast, an hour and a half? Only an hour and a half?
Yeah, really? That was a short one.
Oh.
Anyway, we did this one in less than 2 hours. Good job, us. Let's finish before that time runs out. Anyway, so until next time. Oh, you can follow us on all the social media. I forgot the outro. I won't do that. Facebook, Insta, Twitter, YouTube, all the places. Go there, follow us, etc. And until then, till next time, I've been Matthew.
I've been Ben.
And we'll talk to you again later.
Bye.